Hello and welcome back to another video. If you want to have a full Android system fully integrated with your system, Waydroid is the way to go. But the setup can be a bit confusing at times. In this one, I will be showing you how to install and set up Waydroid. So if you are new to the channel, subscribe, leave a like on the video if you find it helpful. Join the Discord and Patreon. Everything I use on this video will be linked below. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. The first thing I would like to tell you is in Ubuntu 26.04, the Waydroid is not in the official repository, but if you are using anything greater than 26.10, the Waydroid package itself is available in the official repository. So if you are someone running 26.10 or above, you can simply just do sudo apt install Waydroid. Simply just doing that will install it in your system. But since we don't have that luxury, what you have to do first is sudo apt install curl and ca-certificates. So this is something we have to install first. So let's install it. And you can see I already do have them installed, but if you don't have them installed, it should install it. So after these two packages are installed, we have to do something like this. We have to add a repository. So you have to do curl-s https / so pipe this into sudo bash, so it runs it through bash. So if I press enter, it should add this repository. So you can see, there you go, it should add it into our repo list. So after that is added, now we can simply do sudo apt install Waydroid. Yeah, literally we simply can just do this. So if we install this now, it should install it. So let's just wait for this to install, and then we can go through the setup process itself. So there you go, it is installed. So now if I simply do Waydroid, now this window will pop up. Now in this window, it will say Initialize Waydroid. Now by default, these two will be filled up. So if you don't have them by default filled up, make sure to just add these two onto your system and vendor OTA. This is just basically where it gets its updates from. Now in the Android type, depending on which type of user you are, this will vary. Now if you want an Android system that just runs Android application and you are not using any application that relies on Google Play services, or if you are intending on using something like Micro G, then you can go with the minimal Android. Now with this, it will be fairly lightweight and you don't have to worry about Google services stealing your data or anything like that. But for me, I do like the Android with GSF version. It really reduces the setup hassle. But one thing to note, we have to do one extra step than minimal Android. So I'll be showing you this one. So after clicking this, we simply just do download. Now it will wait for container to pull up and it will start downloading. Now while this downloads, let me show you a few more things. Wow, that download speed is horrendous. I get it. Why is it so slow? Now we can do it this way, but since these two are set up, I'll show you another way we can do this. Let me just close this. Another way we can do this is through the terminal. We can simply do sudo Waydroid init. Now if I do just init, it will set it up without any gapps or anything. But since we want the gapps, we can do -s and then just type in gapps in all caps. And this will do the same thing it was doing in the terminal. Sorry, in that prompt right there, it will install it. And look at that, it's already getting better speeds than the one we were getting in there. So I'll let it run. And while this is running, I want to show you something, which is Firewall. Now Firewall is something that we should really be careful of. So if I do sudo systemctl status UFW. Now by default, Ubuntu ships with UFW, so it should show this. Yeah, you can see UFW is loaded, the preset is enabled, so the firewall is enabled and it is active. Now in case your firewall is not enabled and you want to enable it, you can simply just do sudo UFW enable and it will just enable your firewall. But since it is already enabled and this is getting downloaded, wow, the speed is very well. Why is the speed so slow? It's getting it from SourceForge. No wonder it's slow. Okay, I fixed it. So in case any of you are wondering what the heck did I do, if you are having trouble with SourceForge, like anything from SourceForge, I simply just enable one, like Cloudflare one client. That's just basically, it's just a VPN that's enabled on my system. So now since this is a VM, I have to run it on my host machine. But if you're on your actual machine, if you are having download speed issues, just make sure to enable Cloudflare Warp. It's not sponsored, but this is a tool that I absolutely love. And whenever I'm trying to download something from a server that's like really slow, I just turn that on and it just pulls my like actual network speed. Like it's not the greatest, but it's way better than kilobytes. Anyway, why were we checking this firewall? Now in Waydroid, there is an issue where when you enable it or when you turn it on, the network service does not work because Waydroid is essentially a container which uses virtual networks point. So Waydroid is Waydroid 0, and what ends up happening is since firewall doesn't know that it exists or doesn't that works in mostly don't allow anything mode, then it won't allow Waydroid to access the internet. And that's a lot of comments I got in the last video on the Arch Linux one. I will update that as well, so keep an eye out for that. Also, something I couldn't set up in the last one is controls for my games actually, which Waydroid doesn't support natively, but we can do something, which is we can install the Waydroid Helper. Now for the helper on Ubuntu, like if I open up Firefox and search for Waydroid Helper, you can see there is a Waydroid Helper. Let's go in here and it will give you this menu right here. Now this is basically, you know what, let me install it and let me just show you what this is. So there you go, we have Ubuntu right here. I'll just copy all the commands in here and then just paste it in this one. Now it shouldn't take that long to do. Yeah, it should be relatively small application, so it should be really fast. And there you go, you see it is installed. Again, all the links will be in the description, so make sure to check that out. So now after it is installed, let me show you that while Waydroid is like actually getting set up. So this will say loading forever because it's not done installing yet. But if I go in here, you can already see like there's like key mapping window, GSF ID receiver. Now this is something I will do first as soon as we get in. So this just eliminates a lot of the terminal work we have to do, like because I know a lot of you guys do get kind of confused as to what command is doing what the heck is happening, why is it not working. This just makes it a lot simpler. Then in the settings, we have like options for Waydroid. So like fake touch, like multi-window, like there's like Chemo, HW main key, auto ADB, which allows ADB like to automatically work. That's great. This is really great, which is like for anything like Netflix and stuff, which doesn't allow screen recording, and sometimes it may show a black screen when I'm running it through an emulator. This helps out for that. Digital name is digital rights management, used to protect digital content and prevent unauthorized access or copying. So it just helps you have that. And in the ARM translation, Houdini is something we absolutely need to run applications. Okay, so our initialization is done. If I go back in here, you can see it is stopped, but we can turn it on from here. But for anyone who is not like installing this, we do have a terminal command. We simply have to do we can do Waydroid session start, and it will just start a session. But the thing with doing it in a terminal is you have to keep this terminal open, which can be annoying. So yeah, I will do it from here as I don't have like required it to have this open. I think we can do something like this, so we don't have to like keep this terminal window open. It will just run it in the background. So if I clear this out, yeah, now the session is running. That's something I picked up from like AI. So you can see that it is connected now, and in this terminal we can simply do Waydroid. Well, it still does show the output Waydroid for like, I'll clear this out first, it will get confusing. So I can do Waydroid show dash full dash UI, and it will just show this one. Like this is what just booted up, and you can see it works like a normal system. Now in here, like like you cannot install the application and it won't work out of the box because, well, yeah, the ARM translation needs to be there because Android runs on ARM and we are on x86. So anyway, I'll close this. I will install Houdini and those things first before I do anything. But if you guys are interested in seeing as to why it doesn't work really well, you guys can just run it without installing the translation. But since this session is running, I'll close it from here. So I'll do stop, just stop the session. And then first things I'll do is get Houdini and Widevine. So don't worry about saying Chrome OS. It's just that's where it pulled it from. And it says incompatible Android. So the version is probably later than what it is supported. But anyway, I'll do Houdini first. So there you go. It is pulled from Chrome OS. So yeah, you can see it says incompatible Android. So I think we can go with this one. Why does it say it shouldn't say maybe I should have to start it first. Maybe since it's not started, it's really confused as to what it actually needs to do. So yeah, if I go now, you know what, I'll install it. So required version 13, current version is 13. So yeah. Oh, I think I get what's happened. I opened it before Waydroid was done installing. So it's kind of confused as to what it needs to do. So if I just close this and just turn it on again, it will probably just work fine. Yeah, if I go in now, extensions, Houdini, well, it does say incompatible Android version, but don't be scared by that. It will work fine. And you know what, I'll just install it, then I can install a game and show you that. So okay, so this is interesting. This says requires 11, but the version it supports is like currently is 13. So this won't work for us, but this one should work. I installed it and it did work on Arch Linux, so I don't know why it won't work. You know what, I will install it anyway. If it works on 11, it should work on 13. We can check it if it does work when we run something like in the system. We can test it then.
So now we can move to LA.
Okay, the installation is completed. So we have Houdini, we have WideView, so Netflix and those things should not be worried. Now there is like root managers. We can get Kitsune and stuff because for, well, rooting your system, if you are into that thing. For now, I won't be doing that. For GApps, if you are running a minimal system and you do want to install GApps, you can go with either of them. I think Light GApps is a bit newer than Open GApps. Open GApps is really old. I think I remember it from Android like 5 or 6 days. There's like custom launchers, MacroG. So if you want to have MacroG, then this is the package for you. You can hide the status bar. Everything is right here. So now in here, something I will do is this thing right here, which is retrieve GF ID, like GSF ID. If I click on this and hit retrieve, so it's saying retrieving GSF ID, please wait. As far as I remember, I think we have to open up the GUI because it needs an account. So yeah, I don't think it will work without the UI being present. So I'll cancel this. I will open the UI first. But why is the UI not working? You know what? I'll just stop it first. It's because there is a lot that is running. And I'll also do pkill Waydroid. Oh yeah, sudo. Yeah, you can see it's like multiple things are running simultaneously, which is kind of causing issues. So now I'll go in here. Yeah, it is stopped. I'll do show full UI, so it will boot up. It's connected now. Let's hope it boots up. Close it. No, it's not something that silently fails like this. Clicking on Waydroid instantly brings it up. Great. Okay. The Windows key is basically the assistant key, which is weird, but sure. Now we do this. Retrieve. It's asking for a password. We'll give it the password. Yeah. Now, here is the first issue you will face, which is you don't have a network connection. And yes, obviously we don't have a network connection because our firewall is blocking it. So let's fix that first before we do this. So how do we fix it? Let me shut this down. Shut down with this because since we are using it, stop. There you go. Now, to fix it, it's actually, to be honest, not that hard. We just have to do sudo ufw, do that, and then first do route, and then allow in Waydroid 0. I think this is the command. Ufw route allow in on. Oh, sorry, I missed on. So yeah, there you go. You need allow in on Waydroid, and then we can simply just do this instead of route. Yeah, it just allows Waydroid. And now if we open it up, some of you might be already bored as to why this takes so many steps, but this is what it takes to kind of set it up properly. But if I open this again, it should say connected. Now we should be able to do GSF ID. Now you can already see there is the logo for the network. It's already shown up here. And then if we do this, retrieve, it will go in here. You can see it's already received. So we'll do clear package data. We're using Google services. I'll do done. And that should be, first up, that should be it for this right here. Now let's install something. Oh, now in Play Store, just give it a moment to update, because it will update in the middle of you signing in. You know, I'll try to sign in before it updates. So give me a moment. I will be back. Yep, there you go. First one, it blocks me out. Try again. I couldn't sign in. It got updated and it brought me to this screen and it closed again. I think we can log in just from in here. There should be accounts. There you go. It's Google. Yeah, just press sign in here. It should be able to work from here. Okay, now we are in, and well, I'll obviously go with this one. But you can see it already that we can actually install stuff. But if you didn't have Libhoudini and stuff, you couldn't actually install things. So let me install this. Let's see if this even runs. Also, we need to get play games, because without that, it will not work. There we go. So it is done installing. There you go. Now we also have play games. So let me go in here. And now if I just hit play on this, it should open up this game and also recover my data. So at this point, your setup is complete. So if you want to leave, you guys can. Thank you guys for watching. But for game configuration, there is a bit more that's left. So anyone who's setting that up, stick around. Well, I'm running it on a VM, so I didn't expect much. It does break a bit. Also something to note, if I go in here, in the settings, if I scroll down, you can see there's actually an option where you can select the GPU. Can I select this? Okay. We can restart the container. Now it says Red Hat and go virtualize GPU. That's because, well, this is a VM. Now if I try to do this, oh, we lost the internet. Why did we lose our internet? Okay, it is stopped now. I turned it off, and then I can turn it on again. Why is it not turning off? That's concerning. Okay, I just closed it, and let's open it again. Let's see. Also, we do have this. We can directly open it. Well, it does boot up first, but as far as I know, we can directly boot it. Any application you install in this, it will show up in your main system and then turn on automatically. Okay, there you go. Our network is back. I don't know why this is not working. I think I do think it comes down to me having a virtual machine, but it should work for you. If it doesn't work for you, make sure to leave it in the comments down below. Mostly because I think I'm working on a VM, that's why it's not working. But I will still show you how, what I mean when I say there's key binding options. So if I go to here, and you can see this key mapping window, just open this and it will ask for this. Now by default, we have to kind of switch to this to kind of give it permission. I think there is 4 or 5 of this. Yeah, there you go. And now if I go back to here, I'll just close this and then open it again. Now it says it's in edit mode. So at this point, if we add something, so if I right click here, you can see there is an option to edit stuff. So if I do single click, and let's say I want to press here and I bind it to, I don't know, backspace. I have to double click first and then do backspace. So this press is bound to backspace. So now if I press F11 again, and then if I press backspace, I have to press backspace and then click somewhere else to kind of deselect it. Now if I press F1 again and then do backspace, it will click at that exact point. And there is also the D-pad menu. So if I do F12 again, so F1 again, right click and go to directional pads. Can I make it larger? Let's say I make it this big. And the operation, there is two more, click control and slide control. I'll go with slide control. Okay. And then if we press somewhere else, this is set. And then if I press F1, now this is the issue I wanted to show for any developer or anyone working with Waydroid Helper. It's very small and the menus only go to this point. It doesn't go all the way. So this is the issue that I face, but you can see it is swiping. So you can say I can press this to swipe. So if you don't have any troubles like configuring your D-pads and stuff to make it much smaller, then I would say this is a really great option. Or you can just have multiple keys working on it, and that will still work. But there is also a lot of things here which me myself didn't explore everything. Like there's like right click to walk, a refreshed widget. We have like repeated clicks, so it will click something multiple times. There's like fire, there's like macro. I think it presses multiple keys at once. So if you want to have like keybinds, that does a lot. Like you do a lot of keybinds and you have like macro setup, you can do that as well. So there's a lot here. You can save the layout, load the layout. So I would recommend you play around with this and see how it fares. And if I do F11, and then we can now switch to this and close this. And maybe that's it. But did I miss something? Let me see. And that's pretty much it. You now have a fully working native Android system running on Ubuntu. If this video helped you, leave a like, subscribe for more content, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.